All is spooky down here in the horror headquarters, Nightlings. This is episode 39. Welcome in. I'm so excited that you guys are here listening and tuning in. And you may be able to hear, or you may not be able to hear, but as soon as I started this episode, a plane is deciding to fly by. Now, it could be cut out because I do have voice isolation on, but if you heard that, just know that this is all me. This is not AI generated. But welcome in, you guys. I am so happy to announce that school is done. I have graduated college. I am completely done with school. And I'm hoping I live by that because I say this now, but then I feel like in 2 years I'm gonna want to go get a master's. But I'm so happy that I got a bachelor's, that I have now officially a bachelor student, and I have a completed minor in drama, which I love so much. I've literally learned so much about like acting and singing and horror. I've taken so many like film and horror classes. I'm very prepared. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know that like school is out of the way and I'm excited to dive in more into this podcast. I have so much coming up. You guys don't even know what I have planned, but let's dive right in into what today's episode is about. Now, let me start by asking a question. Does anyone else out there hate having their windows open at night? Like, I get it if it's obviously very hot inside and you're trying to open the windows to, like, get some air circulation in, but I personally very much dislike it. Unless maybe if it's like raining without any thunder, because I do hate thunder, but that's for another episode. I only ask because I currently have one window that will not open and one window that will not close because we're having it painted right now, and it's really frustrating. And it got me to thinking about an experience I had April 3rd at night. Like it was maybe 3, 4 a.m. at night, and it was creepy as hell. Let me just start by saying that. But yeah, if you guys hate having the windows open at night, please drop it in the Q&A below. If you guys are on Spotify, if you guys enjoy it, please tell me why. Um I am going to explain why I don't like having my windows open at night because there's a lot of creepy shit that's happened when I have my windows open, especially at night. And of course, around 3 a.m., this stuff tends to happen. I mean, it's horror hour, it's devil hour. But yeah, so April 3rd, let's start there. April 3rd, 2024. Alright, so at night I ended up waking up and yes, I had to pee. I know, probably TMI, but it's just one of those experiences when you wake up in the middle of the night and you have to like pee really badly. And you're like, maybe I can hold it, maybe not. So I just ended up getting up, just like freaking zombie walking over to the bathroom, close the door, finish peeing and everything. I know, TMI already. But as soon as I was getting up, and right before I was about to flush the toilet, I can't speak. I start hearing like this really strong wind outside, and I think it like started raining really badly. After this whole scenario happened, I haven't even gotten to it. Let me backtrack for a second. But yeah, I heard like this really strong wind. Open the window, and I'm like, wow, there's like a really bad like storm happening right now. And I was like, there's a storm coming, Sister Jude, big fat storm. Just like in AHS Asylum. One of my favorite like moments in that entire series. It's just so iconic, and I love watching that episode, especially around when it's like raining and everything, and there's like really big storm coming. I don't know, I just really enjoy it. Completely off topic, but yeah, I love AHS Asylum. That season's freaking amazing. Anyways, there was a big wind, and I like just was listening, and I'm like, wow, this is bad. And I was about to close the window, and then I start hearing footsteps. Yes, and before anyone's like, oh, it was probably a squirrel, it was probably a deer, it was probably a cat or something. No, these were human footsteps because I heard breathing and I heard mumbling as well. There was someone outside in my backyard at 3 a.m. in the morning. No, I do have to say this was one of the creepiest experiences that I've had in my life, and I ended up voice recording myself, like listening to like the footsteps happening and just like the really strong wind. I was trying to see this person and I was like, should I flash a light on them? Should I take out my phone and turn on the flashlight and see if I can find them? I was scared the whole time. You know, every time these things tend to happen at night, I always think worst case scenario, what if they have a gun? What if they have this? What if they're looking at me and they're gonna shoot me? What if they see me through this window looking at them? What if they hear me talking about them? I just think worst case scenario and I just go with it, unfortunately. And I'm gonna upload the voice memos that like I ended up doing while it. And at the end, I'm like, I ain't doing this shit. There's someone outside. And I just listen back to it now, and I just start laughing. Actually, maybe I can try putting it on the microphone right now. You know, as I'm recording this episode, so you guys don't like not believe me right now. So let's try this out. Let's see if this works. Now it could be very silent. I'm gonna turn off voice isolation. See if this works. All right, you guys ready? Someone's outside. All right, back to voice isolation. But if you guys were listening, you could like hear like the wind chimes, obviously, like no one's walking around with wind chimes. But there was like a slight beeping noise as well, and you might be able to hear the breathing that I was hearing as well. And there was also footsteps in that recording. If you didn't hear it, I'm gonna upload the full recording to the post on my Instagram today at the horror headquarters, so you guys can check it out there. But it was extremely creepy, and I also took two different recordings. I took that one, and then I took another one. And tell me, you can't tell me this is coincidence. Both of them ended up being 32 seconds exactly. No, that's not a coincidence. I don't care what anyone says. That is not a coincidence. That is just creepy as hell, if you guys ask me. But yeah, I ended up shutting the window and running to my room, and I could not sleep. Because I'm like, there's probably someone outside and they're gonna kill us and they're gonna do all this horrible stuff. Because I think worst case scenario, because I'm dramatic, I'm a drama student. Like, what do you expect me to do? And I know you guys might be like laughing hysterically at me right now, like at the fact that I'm even talking about this. But this shit was crazy. And this isn't the first time this happened. We're always having people in our backyards past 12 a.m. like because we live next to the woods, as I've stated in previous episodes I've talked about. There's always people walking at night with flashlights, like in the woods, like past 12. And first of all, let me just say, you're like, probably like, oh my god, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not supposed to be in the woods past 10 p.m. So it's technically against the law. And you guys can call me a Karen all you want, but don't be walking in the backyard in the woods right next to my house, flashing a damn flashlight at the house. Because it's really, really creepy. And we've only confronted these people, I think, once or twice when my brother used to live with us. Because, like, we were too wimpy to, like, go out. Because, like I said, I think worst case scenario. He would go out and, like, they would just start running away. And it was just really creepy. And honestly, it could be these same people playing a prank on us. Like, trying to get us to like freak out or something. It like reminds me a lot of The Watcher, which I've talked about in a previous episode. Like I reviewed that show, but I feel like I'm living in that house now because I feel like someone's so addicted with our house and like loves it so much that they want to stalk us. So it's extremely creepy, and honestly, it could be them playing a prank on us. I'm not sure, but I'm hoping to find out because I promise you, the next time I look out into the woods and I see someone in there past 12 a.m., I'm flashing a flashlight back at them and I'm going to be calling the police. Like, obviously, like, not to, like, get them arrested or anything, but I'm sure by the time, like, I call them, they'll be gone, but just to file a report. And if not calling them, then I'll go down to the police station and file a report because you're not supposed to be in the woods, like I said, past 10 p.m. And you guys might be thinking I'm overreacting and all this stuff. Nope. Nope. As I stated in the beginning of this episode, one of my windows is completely shut and it will not open because of the paint. One of them is completely open and it will not shut because of the paint. And as I've stated, I don't like having my windows open at night unless it's to get the air circulated. I just don't like it. And it creeps me out because a lot of times there'll be idiot cars driving past at 100 miles per hour in the neighborhood and it wakes me up. But the reason I bring this up is because 2 nights ago, I wake up at 3:07 and I'm not joking. I'm not joking. And look up at the clock and it's 3:07 and I wake up because I hear another person and it sounds like they're right outside my window. So I went into like full Mission Impossible mode and I like got all my gadgets out. No, I'm joking. I went up to the window, like all the lights were off, obviously, and I just listened before I like sat down and listened out the window because I also wanted to peek through my shades, but I was too scared at this point, and I was also half asleep. Keep in mind, and if I wake up in the middle of the night and it's 3 a.m., I'm gonna be even more panicked because as I've said, that's Devil's Hour, and there's the hour a lot of crazy stuff happens in horror movies and in real life. So I'm just listening, next to the shades and everything, and I'm trying to like make out if it's like persons walking, if they're saying anything. Like I'm trying to like decode what's going on, and I'm just listening, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just look through the shade. Maybe I'll see someone. Open the shade. I don't see anyone. No one. And I'm like, alright, it was just probably my imagination. Shut the shade. And then this car turns on. I'm like, who the hell is driving at 3 a.m.? There was a Cadillac. A black Cadillac across the street to the left. As soon as I dropped that shade, they turned the car on and they drove so quickly, like so fast. And I immediately, again, thought, worst case scenario, what if this person saw me? Why are they leaving immediately as I walk away from the window? Is it coincidence? Is it not? I know I could be stretching, but I had the worst. When I tell you I had the worst feeling when that car drove by, it was as if all like the positive energy in the air just completely got sucked away by a vacuum, and I was just left emptiness. Like it was so weird and it was so creepy, and it left me with shivers. Just thinking about it right now gives me shivers because mm-mm. And they drove by and everything and all that stuff, and I wanted to shut the window. Oh, trust me, I wanted to shut the window, but it doesn't shut because it's painted and it does not move. So I'm just living in this nightmare. Shout out to my short film, Nightmare. But I'm just living in this nightmare, and I go back into my bed and I start playing some like rain sound so that if the car drives past again, I won't wake up. And I wake up again. This time at 5:30, around 5:30, maybe it was 5:27, but I wake up once again. And you won't believe what's outside on my porch. A black cat. A black cat is waiting outside on my porch, meowing. And you know how I know it was a black cat? Because I ended up going downstairs and looking out the window. And there's this black cat. It wasn't looking at me. It was just sitting on the porch, meowing, meowing, meowing. And it had like kind of a hue of like either a blonde or brown as well on its like fur. And it's just meowing. And I like wanted to open the door and just be like, can you please leave? I can't sleep. And I felt bad, so I didn't, because I'm like, maybe it's pregnant or something. So I ended up like knocking on the window, and I scared it a little bit, so I started running, and then it looked at me. And it stared at me for maybe a good 45 seconds. Very creepy. Now, usually, I love black cats. Let me just put that out there. I adore cats. I love black cats. Even though I'm allergic to them, like I'm allergic to cats, I love them. But come on, a black cat at night, like that's creepy as hell. It's like seeing a black cat on Halloween. I mean, obviously I would love that, but that's creepy. Now I love creepy, but come on, 5 o'clock and it's meowing the hell and I can't close the window. Anyways, I end up going back upstairs and the cat is gone. And I wake up in the morning and I'm walking out to my car and it's standing guard next to a bunch of bushes and flowers just looking at me in the morning. And you know how I knew? Because I walk out and I'm like, something's looking at me. And it kind of reminded me of that song by Michael Jackson. And I always feel like somebody's watching me. When I turned around and I just looked to the left and there's a cat. Now, I honestly think of this cat as my guardian angel because I'm like, maybe it's just protecting me something because I did see it again today. Yeah, so very, very weird. Just having windows open opens a lot of opportunities. Hence why this episode is called A Window of Opportunities. Or something along those lines. I don't know, I might change it. But very, very creepy experiences. And I can't wait to shut this window because I have had enough for a lifetime, I think. Don't you think? Don't you think that's enough? Or you think I'm just going crazy? I don't know. So, yeah, that's why I don't like having windows open. And I love how as soon as I'm done talking about the story, another airplane is passing by right now. You guys probably didn't hear it because voice isolation is on. But yeah. Alright, now before I end this episode, I have so many exciting things to say. Firstly, the Horror Headquarters t-shirt is available on Shopify to purchase. Now, I have attached the website below. It is also on Instagram, it's on Twitter, it's on TikTok. It is everywhere, and it is on the link tree as well. So please go get your guys' merch, you guys. And a follow-up on that, I have a really big announcement. I am going to be doing another trip to Boston. And when I say Boston, I mean Salem. I'm going back to Salem. I'm not going to tell you guys when, but I am going back and I can't wait because I am staying in one of the most haunted hotels in America. That's correct. I'm staying at the Hawthorne Hotel. Yep, it's all happening. Like I said, all twice, but I am so beyond pumped and I couldn't keep this a secret. I was gonna actually surprise you guys by it next week. So if you guys are listening to this right now, you guys are one of the first people to know. For those people that don't listen to my podcast, they'll like find out when I post on Instagram. But it's so exciting and I can't wait. As you guys can tell from my voice, I'm like smiling from ear to ear and I am so beyond pumped to go back to Salem. I am not sure how long I'm going to be spending over there, but it's definitely not going to be like one day. I'm going to be going into the houses. I'm going to go into the witch house because I wasn't able to go in there last time. I'm going to do like so many different locations this time, many more haunted locations, which they do have. And I'm also going to be trying to overcome my fear of cemeteries because they did have a cemetery last time, but it was closed off because it was the holidays. So I'm praying when I go, nothing's closed. I'm checking and it says everything's going to be open. So we'll find out. And the weather's supposed to be really nice. So that's the first thing. Next thing, I am planning something very, very cool. And I'm working on it. And honestly, I don't know if a lot of podcasts do what I'm going to do. But you know what? I'm going for it. I could be very wrong because I only listen to certain podcasts and I don't see like them do like anything like I'm planning. But when I tell you guys, it's gonna be so freaking wicked. Like, I'm really pumped for this. So yeah, is there anything else? Oh yeah, I'm working on a bunch of other stuff too. I mean, I'm writing a book, I'm working on my short film right now. Like, I have so much more time to like brainstorm and think of new scenes to do for this film that I'm doing. Just so much. There's so many things that are hanging on the grapevine that are waiting to be plucked and given to you guys. So if you guys are listening to this, like I said, you guys are one of the first people to know. So again, so much happening, so much coming soon, and very special podcast episodes coming soon. I promise you that. But thank you guys all so much for listening wherever you are, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, whether it's on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, wherever you guys are tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys' support. Share this episode with someone. Share a previous episode with someone. Share this entire podcast with someone that loves horror, that loves podcasts, that loves hearing someone talk about personal stories like this. Because I have found a lot of people that are looking into this kind of stuff, and I'm recommending my podcast, and they're instantly loving it, which makes me so happy. I'm just so blessed, and I'm really grateful for all the feedback you guys are giving me as well. There's so many people, especially on Instagram, that are just being so kind, that are saying how much they love this podcast, and it literally puts the biggest smile on my face, you guys. Like, I work so hard, as any podcaster does, if they like do all the editing and promotion and social media themselves and the script, all that kind of stuff themselves. It's a lot of work, but it is so worth it because I love doing this, and I can't believe I've been doing this for over half a year. Like, that is insane. I'm so happy I'm still doing it, and I can't wait until the 1 year anniversary because there's just so much planned, you guys. But yeah, thanks again, you guys. Stay tuned. There's literally so much coming. You guys have no idea. Like, oh, make sure to follow us on Instagram at the Horror Headquarters, on TikTok at the Horror Headquarters, and on Twitter at the Horror HQ. And again, we also do have a Facebook page. And please make sure to hit that follow button and rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, any lingering thoughts that you guys have, any horror movie recommendations, anything at all, anything about my podcasting style, anything you guys want to drop it in the Q&A on Spotify. And if you guys don't have Spotify, it's completely free. So I'll see you guys there. I'm excited to see what you guys say and think about this episode. But until next time, tread very lightly and pray for forgiveness. Midnight hour is approaching in Salem.